Welcome class. I am Dr. Seema Matre, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and I am teaching you the subject Web Technology. The code is KCS602. Today I am going to cover the topics arrays, methods, class, and objects. Welcome class. Today I am going to cover the topics arrays, methods, class, and objects. Let's start with the arrays. Number of times we have heard about the arrays. What are basically the arrays? An array is a collection of similar types of data under a single name. For example, to store 100 names, we can create an array of the string type that can store 100 names. It is basically an indexed list of values. We may make an array of any type. It can be int, double, string, etc. An array of size n is indexed from 0 to n minus 1. It is represented like this. The first memory, it starts with 0 and it moves till n minus 1, where n is the total number of elements. How to declare an array? So first, we give the data type denoted by this bracket and then the name of the array. Example, int and the square bracket with the name of this array. Denoted here, I have denoted with the name values. To create an array of a given size, use the operator new. Int, in the left hand side, we give integer array denoted by the variable values, and with the help of this new keyword here, we are creating an array of the given size 5. Means the array variable values, it will store 5 integer values, which index will start from 0 till 4, n minus 1. Now the declaration, initialization, and the display elements of an array. How it is possible? Let's take an example. Here, the class array1, inside the main, we took an integer array. And in the right hand side, in the curly braces, we have given the initial value to the variable a. Now this is not an ordinary variable. It is an array variable which get indexed with 0 to n minus 1. Here number of elements are 33, 3, 4 and 5. It means the total number of elements here are 4. So the initialization is done in the right hand side inside the array variable a. Now to print this array, with the help of this loop, we will start, as we know the index start with 0. So it will start with 0 till 3, means less than 4. And with the help of this system.out.println, we first displayed the value a of I. A of I means the value at the index 0 of the array variable a. The value at index 0 will be 33. And when the loop get incremented, then the next one is the I will be at 1th, the next 2, then 3. And as soon as the array got finished, the loop also terminated and we get all the variable values displayed like this. First 33, then 3, then 4, and then 5. The length variable which is associated with this array. Basically, each array has a length variable built in that contains the count of total number of elements in an array. So here we declared an array variable values, the size of which is 12. So we can take with the help of this length variable like this. So we took another integer variable size where I measured the length of this array variable values dot length. So it will pick the total number of elements that are present or the size of the array variable values. So here we have given the size 12, so length will be 12. In the next one, integer uh, array variable values 2. It has 11, 22, 33, 44 and 55. So 5 elements are there. So how we can determine? With the help of this length property. So values 2 dot length. It will determine the total number of elements in this array variable and provide it to this integer variable size 2. Types of arrays. Now the next one is the different types of arrays. There are 2 types of arrays in Java: single dimensional and multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array, it is also known as one dimensional array, and it is always denoted with one subscript. This bracket, it is called subscript, inside which we give the size. So when we denote in this form, it behaves like a list of variables. Syntax to declare. All the ways are appropriate. They all are correct. We give the data type and put this script just in front of the data type and give the name of the array. Or we can provide the data type or this bracket just before the variable name. Or it can also be denoted as data type, then the variable name, and in front of that we can give the subscript. They all are valid like this. You can give. It is denoted like this one, and so on. The next one is construction of one-dimensional array, or you can say the single-dimensional array. So array name equal to new data type. New. With the help of this new keyword, we are constructing this one-dimensional array, providing this appropriate size. So yeah. Now the next one is array initialization. Means we are providing the initial value to this array. For that, curly braces can be used to initialize an array. It is only be used when you declare the variable like this. So int, then it is the subscript denoting that it is an array. We are creating then an array with the name values. We are creating an array variable denoted by value, and in this array variable we are providing these values: 12, 24, minus 23 and 47. To access the elements of an array, use this operator as the name of the array variable, and in this we provide the index, the position from where we want to access the data, the element. For example, system.out.print values 3. It means we want to find the value which is kept at index 3 of the array variable named as values. So in the array values, the index is here 0, 1, 2, 3. So the value kept at index 3 is 47, and it will display the value over here. Now the next one is multi-dimensional array, which is also known as two-dimensional array, 2D. And it is the simplest form of a multi-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array, it uses two subscripts, where the first subscript, it behaves like a row, and the second, it behaves like a column. The size of this matrix depends upon the size of the subscripts. Now the syntax to declare the multidimensional array. All these are valid. Data type. The two subscript can be given in front of the data type and the variable name. Or data type, these two subscript can given before the array variable name. The third one is data type, array variable name, and just ahead of this variable, or this is also correct. Data type, one subscript can be given before the variable name and one can be given after that. All are valid. Now the construction of a 2D array like this: int, the two dimensions, the two subscript, the name of the array variable equal to new int, and then the size 3 by 3. It means 3 row and the 3 column. It means total number of elements will be 9. Example of 2D array here. So in the class, under the main method, we have declared an array variable ARR, two-dimensional array. So it is the beginning of the array and it is the end of the array. In the between, the first one, this denote the first row and it's all the column. It means first row having the column 1, 2, 3. The next one is the second row. It has again its first, second, third column. The third row, it has its own column 1, 2, 3. So this is the way to declare a two-dimensional array. Now to print the two-dimensional array, we need the two for loop. One which is used to change the row and another one is to change the column. The first one, it will display the entire one row, and after completing one row with all its column, we will finish the inner loop and we'll change a line, and then again the outer loop will get changed. I get incremented from 0 to 1, and again the next rows is all column and so on. This way a two-dimensional array can be printed. Now we move to the next topic, methods. So what are methods basically? Method is a set of statement or a collection of code that are grouped together to perform an operation. Methods, they are also known as functions. It also provides the easy modification and readability of the code. The method gets executed by its name and only when we call or invoke it. It itself cannot be executed. The most important method in Java is the main method. The advantages of writing methods, that will be to reuse the code. Means define the code once and use it many times. Thus, it helps in reducing the project code size. Now, how to declare a method? Method declaration. So, in the method declaration, it provides the necessary information about the method, such as its attribute, its visibility, its return type, name, and arguments. It has 6 components that are known as method header. It can be displayed like this. All these 6 components, they all get under one head and it is known as method header. So we'll start with the attributes of the method declaration. Method signature. This is the method signature. It includes the name of the method and the parameter list. Method name. When we provide the name of the method, it means the name of the method. It is a unique name to define any method. The parameter list. It is the list of parameters or the variables. They are separated by comma and they are enclosed within a pair of brackets. The next one is return type. Return type is a data type that a method returns. If a method doesn't return any value, we give void in that case. Method body. This method body, which is written inside this curly braces, it contains all the actions to be performed, which a method is going to perform. They all are enclosed within this pair of this curly braces. Access specifier. in the front, at the beginning, we give this access specifier. It provides the information about the visibility of the method. So Java has 4 access specifiers like public, private, protected, and default. This all will be covered in detail in the package topic. Now the parameters and arguments. What is the difference and how they are getting used in a method? So information can be passed to a method as parameters. Parameters, they act as variable inside the method. Parameters are specified after the method name inside the parenthesis. Added many parameters. Just we can separate them with a comma. Now we can understand it with the help of example. So here we have made the method and its name is my method. It will not return any value. How we can say this? Because in place of the return type, we have given void. And in its bracket, we have made a parameter. Its name is fname and it will accept string value. And what is the action it is going to perform? It is going to print this message welcome along with this fname, what the value it contains. It will display over here. So this is the method. So in the main method, what we do, we call this method because we know methods are needed to be called. Only then they get executed. So I call this method, my method, and pass the value Kiran. This will get stored in this parameter, fname, and it will print welcome Kiran. Next, I called again the method and passed Jay. Same with this here. Next, again I call this method and pass this value Anu. So when a parameter is passed to the method, it is called an argument. So in this example, fname, it is a parameter, while these values which are getting passed to this parameter, these values are known as arguments. Methods, here this method, it does not return any value as it is declared as void. Now method return type. So a Java method may or may not return a value to the function call. Return statement. For this, return keyword is used to return any value. So in this example, we have made a method named square, and in this case, it is accepting an integer value within this parameter num. In this parameter, it is accepting an integer value, and it is going to return this time, and it will return an integer value. The name of the method is square. So what it is doing, it is receiving one argument while it is called. Whenever it is called, it will receive one value in this variable. It will multiply this variable with its own, and it will assign it to this variable sq. And finally, whatever it contains, it will be returned to that point from where it is called. So this is the work of this method square. So in the main method, what we did, we declared a variable and then we call this method square and passed the argument 10. So when we pass the argument 10 to this parameter, it made the square and returned it from where it is called. So from here it was called. So it returned the square over here, and it finally assigned the return value to this variable result. Then it will display what the value was returned from the method with this message. It will display the message first. Squared value of 10 is plus result. The result contains the return value. And the output will be here As we passed 10, so 10 multiplied by 10, 100. 100 is returned in this from where it was called, and it was assigned into the result, and result will print the value 100. Types of methods. Two types of methods are there: predefined and user defined. Predefined methods, those methods that are already defined in Java class libraries. They are also known as standard library method or built-in method. Some predefined methods available are length, equals, compare to, square root, sqrt, denoted by sqrt, etc. Number of methods are there. In order to use built-in methods, we need to import such packages or classes where they belong. Java.lang package is automatically imported in every Java program. Now, the categories of built-in methods that are already available within the Java, they are the string methods, array methods, number methods, character methods, and many more. Example, here, the default inbuilt method available, which we are going to use over here. In the main, we are using the max method. It belongs to the math class. So system.out.println, here maximum number is, we use this max method which is inbuilt and belong to the class math. So we will precede the function with its class name, where it belongs. It belongs to this math class. So math.max, and we pass the two arguments 9 and 7. This max function will determine the max value from these two arguments. And in this case, it will return maximum number is 9. Now the next one is user-defined methods. The method which is written by user or programmer. These methods are modified according to the requirement. Now the example of user-defined methods. Here we are going to find out if a given number is even or odd. In this example, the class name is even odd. Inside the main, we took an integer variable num having the value 90. Then we call this method find even odd and pass this argument num, which is containing the value 90. So when we move to this method, it is the user-defined method. This user-defined method is going to receive one argument from here in its parameter. This is its own parameter. So it is going to receive the argument when this method is going to be called, and it will keep it in the variable num. So inside the method body, it is going to divide this num with 2. And it is checking if on dividing, if the remainder becomes 0, it means the num which was passed, it is even. And if the remainder is not 0, it means it is odd. So in this case, we have passed the argument num which contains 90. So according to that, the output must be 90 is even, because when 90 will be divided by 2, the remainder will be 0. So in this case, 90 will be even. Now the next topic is method overloading. So what is the property? What are the features of method overloading? It is a feature that allow a class to have more than one method having the same name. But it is possible only and only if their argument lists are different. 3 ways to overload a method. So in this case, if you want to overload a method, and that means we are going to provide the same name. So for that, the argument list of the method must differ in either of these cases. The first one is number of parameter. For example, if you want to keep the same name, add and add, change the number of parameters. Here we are passing 2, here we are passing 3. Next one is data type of parameters. In this case, we want to keep the name same and we want to pass only two arguments in this case. Here, two arguments. Here also two arguments. Now, how it is possible? Number of arguments are two and we want to keep the name same. For this, what we will do? We will change the data type of parameter. Here, both of them are integer. In this case, one is int, one is float. The next one is sequence of data type. Again, we want to keep the same name. The number of arguments we want to pass only two. And in this case, one is int, one is float. For this, we will change the sequence. Here first is int, then float. In the next one, we can give first float and then next int. So this way it is possible. Now with the help of the example, we can see the working of a method overloading. Here name of the method is sum. It is receiving the two argument. Both are int type. It takes 2 and then return x plus y. In the next, again the name is same. It is receiving 3 integer values. It is returning the sum of these 3. Next, sum. It is having the two variables. But this time, in this case, the two variables are int. But here, the two variables are of double and it's returning the value. So this way, it is possible to overload the method. Output will be in such a manner. So next, we move to the another topic, class and object. Class and object topic. So here, as we know, Java is an object-oriented programming language. And the core concept of this object-oriented approach is to break complex problems into smaller objects. What is an object basically? It is an entity that has two characteristics, state and behavior. Now, what determines the characteristic of an object? So we take the example of an object, for example, car. Car is an object. Now the state means the characteristics or the attribute of a car will be its color, the brand, the weight, the model. State means the data which belongs to it. Behavior means the action, the activity it is going to perform. So the activity performed by the car can be brake, we can accelerate, slow down, gear change. Main aspects of object-oriented programming. It belongs to object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. So here we will cover the object and the class and another topic step by step. We start with the object. What is an object basically? An entity that has state and behavior. For example, of objects, chair, bike, marker, pen, table, car, etc. Object can be physical or logical. An object has three characteristics. The first one is state. It represents the data or the attributes of an object. Second one is behavior. It represents the activity or the action that can be done by an object. And the third characteristic is the identity. It is basically used internally by the JVM to identify each object uniquely. Example, pen in an object. Its name is Rotomac. Color is white. This is known as its state. It is used to write. So, writing is its behavior. We can say an object is an instance of a class. What does it mean? That a class is a template or a blueprint from which objects are created. So we can say an object is the instance or a result of a class. Now the class is basically it is a group of objects which share the common properties. It provides a template or blueprint from which objects are created. It is a logical entity It can't be physical. A class in Java can contain fields, methods, constructors, blocks, nested class, and interface. So the syntax to declare a class is we give the this property class and followed by the class name. It has the attributes, or you can say the fields, and the method inside it. To create an object. Now how we can prepare an object from this class? To create an object, specify the class name followed by the object name and use the keyword new. Basically, new keyword is used to allocate memory at runtime. Here we will take the example how to create a student class. In this, student class has two data members, ID and name. So this ID and name are the field or the properties. We will create the object of the student class by the new keyword and print the object's value. So let's have an example. In this, the name of the class is student. This way, we are defining a student class. The class contains an attribute or a field which is of integer type and its name is ID. Another one is the name attribute as string type. Inside the main method, we are going to create an object for this class. You can say object or an instance of the class. So here the name of the class is student. For this student class, we are creating an instance or an object. And this is possible only with the help of this new keyword, new and this class name. This way, we create an object or an instance. So here, S1 is an object. Now, to print the value of the object, what it contains, so system.out.println s1.id, because now this entire class, it can be represented by this object or the instance of this class we have prepared. Now S1 has all the authority. This object as it is an instance or it is a result of this class. Now it can access all the members that belong to this class. So yeah, two members are there, ID and name. So to print them, to access them, we can use this reference variable or this object name, and it is separated with this dot symbol. So s1.id, s1.name. So this way we can access the members through this reference variable. Then this case, as in this attribute we have not provided any initial value to them, so by default the integer value contains 0 and the string contains null. So it will display 0 and null. Now today we covered the array one dimensional and the two dimensional, and methods we covered the two types of the methods, predefined method or you can say the inbuilt method, and the another one was user defined method. We also learned the concept of object oriented programming with the help of class and objects. So that's all for today. Thank you.